Yo, what's up guys? It's Noah here, and in today's video, we're going to be breaking down the NBA slate on Draftkings and Yahoo for Thursday, January the 21st. We got another short slate, just 3 games today, but we're going to break down this slate like normal, go team by team, start off with the Lakers-Milwaukee game, and then we'll run through each game team by team. I'll be sure to break down this slate, talk about all the guys that I am interested in for each game. Just before we do get started though, guys, as always, I would appreciate it if you'd hit that like button down below. If you are new to the channel here, be sure to click that subscribe button as well. I do upload a lot of NBA content to this channel. Basically get up videos every single day if I'm able to. I'm still making NFL videos as well, so got a ton of content coming out. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. Click the notification bell so that way you get notified every time I upload. You'll also get notified every time I do go live. Not sure yet if I'm going to be able to go live today. I wasn't able to go live yesterday. Not sure if I'll be live today, but I'll definitely be live for Friday's slate. Might be able to go live today, though. We'll have to wait and see. But if I am able to go live, it'll probably be early in the afternoon, around 3 or 4 o'clock Eastern time. So if you're able to tune in, I can answer all your questions. Basically, any questions you have for tonight's slate, I can answer them in the live stream. But yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at Thursday night's 3-gamer. We'll start off with the Lakers and Bucks game. We'll start off on the Lakers side. So the Lakers, they're a pretty straightforward team. It obviously starts with Anthony Davis and LeBron James. Now, these are two guys that I haven't really played much this year. Like, they're just not studs that I've been jamming into my lineups. I mean, we've seen AD have some good games. We've seen LeBron have some good games. But they haven't been, in terms of consistency, in terms of upside, they haven't been on the same level as some of the other guys in the league, like Jokic, Giannis, just other studs that have been playing better. Still, though, AD does have massive upside. This is obviously a game that, a big-time game here. You expect the stars to play well. Giannis, LeBron, AD, you expect those guys to play well in a big-time game like this. Should be close, should be competitive. We should get AD to play probably 36 to 38 minutes. His price has come down to $9,400. It's not like he's, really expensive, so he's definitely viable. I still prefer Giannis on the other side of this game, who we'll talk about, but AD is definitely in play. You have LeBron for a little bit cheaper as well. Obviously, LeBron is for sure in play on a 3-game slate. Normally LeBron's not a guy I'm going out of my way to play, but I'll for sure have some exposure to him just given the lack of options that we have, just given, we only have 3 games today. So I do have interest in LeBron. Between him and Davis, I'd prefer AD, but LeBron is definitely viable. Now, Dennis Schroeder, he's someone that I haven't really played much at all this year as well. I do actually like him quite a bit today, though, especially on Yahoo. If you look at the pricing over there, he's coming in at shooting guard. Very affordable on Yahoo, only $20. And if you just look at the shooting guard position as a whole, I mean, there's only a few plays that stand out to me. You could obviously pay up for Donovan Mitchell at $33, but the 2 guys that really stand out are Schroeder at $20 and Jordan Clarkson, who's also $20. I don't mind either one of those guys. I think right now I give the edge to Schroeder, but those guys do look like 2 of the better shooting guard options. I do like Schroeder quite a bit on Yahoo at shooting guard, so we know what we're going to get from him at this point. He's going to play 30 to 32 minutes. He's been playing much better lately in terms of consistency. He's been better the last few games, 32, 38 DraftKings points. He did start off the year really well and then kind of got into a little bit of a rough stretch, but Schroeder is still someone that does have upside. This is a game that should be close. We should get Schroeder to play his full allotment of minutes. I do like him on this slate, more so on Yahoo where he's $20 and he's really affordable. On DraftKings at $6,300, he's still for sure in play. But I think on Yahoo, that's where he does look the best today. Montrezl Harrell, he's affordable as well at $5,200. He's been, kind of inconsistent this year, but most nights we're going to get probably 26 to 28 minutes from Harrell off the bench. We know this is a guy that can be pretty productive when he does get minutes, can definitely give you, a double-double off the bench, can give you 30-plus DraftKings points. I don't mind him at $5,200, but he's not like my favorite guy to go to. Kyle Kuzma, I don't really have any interest in at $5K, even though he's been playing better lately. I just don't really play Kuzma when the Lakers are fully healthy. KCP, I think, is a punt play on the slate. It's viable. KCP is not a guy that I really target much, but he's going to play probably 24, 25 minutes. He's only $3,700. You could get, 26, 28 DK points from KCP, and he'd be a solid value. So as a punt option, he's in play for $3,700. But really, there's no one else on the Lakers I'm kind of looking to target. Even on a 3-game slate, there's really no other guys I'm looking to. So that kind of does it from the Lakers. Now on the Bucks side, it starts with Giannis for me. Obviously, Giannis on a 3-game slate is going to look like a top option, and that's for sure the case today. He's a guy that I do want to try and jam in if possible. I like him a ton on DK, $10,500. I like him on Yahoo as well, coming in at $52 over there. Now, right now, there really isn't a ton of value on this slate. Like, there's no good, cheap options that stand out. So it may be tough to jam in 2 stars on this slate, but I think you should be able to get at least one. And if I can only play one of the studs, it's definitely Giannis for me. We know the upside this guy has, insane upside. We know if the game is close, he's going to play big minutes, which is something that he has been doing this year. Last year, we saw even in close games, Giannis would only play like 32, 33 minutes. Well, this year, he's getting, 34, 35. Last game, he got 40 minutes against Brooklyn in a close game. So if this game's down to the wire against the Lakers, which it should be, we should get probably 36 minutes from Giannis. We know this is a guy that when he's playing, 35, 36 minutes, can put up 60-plus Draftkings points any night. He's so productive when he's on the floor. He can stuff the stat sheet. He does everything. Even at 10,500, I want to try and find a way to jam in Giannis on this slate. He is for sure my number one stud overall. But then you got Chris Middleton at 7,600, Drew Holiday at 6,600. Normally, when Giannis is healthy, these aren't guys that I really target much, but I think on a 3-game slate, Middleton and Holiday are definitely in play. I think given the savings, I would probably prefer Drew Holiday. I do like him a good amount at 6,600. That is a pretty nice price on Holiday. He can definitely give you a good score at this price point. Like, you could get 40-plus Draftkings points from Drew Holiday, and he'd be a good play at 6,600. Now, obviously, he's not going to dominate the usage. He's not going to be as productive on a point-per-minute basis this year playing with this Bucks team, playing alongside Giannis as he was last year with the Pelicans. But still, this is a guy that is, pretty productive when he's on the floor. He's going to play big minutes. He's a really good defender. He can, get defensive stats. He can just do a little bit of everything. I do like Drew Holiday at 6,600. I think he's probably my second favorite guy on the Bucks behind Giannis. Well, he'd probably be my third favorite because Brook Lopez, I think, is my second favorite guy from the Bucks. I like Brook Lopez quite a bit. He's pretty affordable on both sides, only $5,100 on DK. And looking at Yahoo, he's affordable over there as well, coming in at $16 on Yahoo. So Brook Lopez, another guy that I rarely play. Like, I haven't played Brook Lopez much at all this year, but just given we only have 3 games today and the lack of options, Brook Lopez does stand out as a solid play. I mean, he's been good lately, 30-plus Draftkings points in 3 straight games. He's playing, pretty good minutes as well, which is the key for me. He's playing 33, 34 minutes. That's what he's got over their last 2 games. I think if this game is close, we're going to get probably 30-plus minutes from Brook Lopez, and at 5,100, he could definitely pay off that price tag if he's playing 30-plus minutes. So I do like him a lot at 5,100. I think he does stand out as a really strong center play on this slate. But like DiVincenzo, he's a fine option. I guess between like DiVincenzo, Portis, Connaughton, I think DiVincenzo is my preferred option there. But really, on the Bucks side, like I think I just want to go to Giannis, Drew, Lopez, and then kind of mix in Chris Middleton. Like those are the guys I want to keep my exposure to. I'm not a big fan of like DiVincenzo or Portis. I mean, DiVincenzo's fine, but past him, there's no one I really like from Milwaukee. So we'll go ahead and move on to the next one, the Knicks and the Warriors. Starting off on the Knicks side, we got Julius Randle obviously as the top option here, and Julius Randle does look like a really good spend-up option on this slate. I do like him as well, and if I can, I want to try and find a way to fit him in with Giannis. He's coming in at 8,800 on DK. Looking at Yahoo's pricing, we got Julius Randle coming in at $42 over there, which is obviously pretty expensive, but Julius Randle has been worth the price tag this year. He's been so productive when he's on the floor. He's playing big minutes as well. If it's a close game here against the Warriors, which it should be, we're going to get 38 to 40 minutes from Randle. It's a great matchup. The Warriors are playing very fast this year. I'm pretty sure they're like top 3 or top 2 in pace so far this season, so big-time pace-up spot here for the Knicks. Warriors on the defensive level, I mean, they're not an elite defense by any means. I like Julius Randle a ton. This is a guy that I've played a lot this season and definitely going to have interest in him on a short 3-game slate like this. So I do like him quite a bit at 8,800. He's for sure my favorite guy to target from the Knicks without a doubt. RJ Barrett, not a top option for me. I think there's other guys I'd rather play in his price range. There's guys that are cheaper that I would rather go to at his position. Mitchell Robinson at 6K is viable, but I think given the savings, I would probably rather play Brook Lopez for 5,100. We're going to talk about some other cheaper guys I like over Robinson. Elfrid Payton, I mean, you never know what you're going to get from Elfrid Payton. His minutes have kind of been all over the place. We've seen Emmanuel quickly get a lot of minutes off the bench and take minutes away from Payton. Payton is really hard to trust right now, and he's still somewhat expensive at 5,800, so he's not really a guy I'm going to be looking to. Alec Burks, I believe, remains doubtful. Oh, he's actually probable. So Alec Burks is expected back for this game, which is just going to make the guard rotation even weirder. Like, we just don't know what we're going to get here from Payton, Burks, Quickly. Like, Quickly's been playing well off the bench, but now that Burks is back, how many minutes does he play? I really don't know. I mean, he's still pretty cheap at 4,100. If he does get, mid to low 20s in minutes or in minutes. Like he could give you 25, 30 DraftKings points in low 20s minutes because he has been productive this year on a point per minute basis. But I'll probably be avoiding the Knicks backcourt. Like I really don't like Payton, Burks, Bullock, Quickly. I don't really like any of those guys on the slate. And there's really no value from the Knicks. So honestly, it's just Julius Randle for me. Like he's the guy that I have the most interest in. Not much else stands out as core options from the Knicks side. Now on the Warriors, obviously it starts with Steph Curry at the top, 9,600. On this slate, I don't think Curry is going to be my top stud. I definitely would prefer Giannis. I'd prefer Julius Randle for cheaper. Honestly, I think I would take the Lakers guys over Curry as well. The Knicks are actually not a good matchup. Like they've been playing really good defensively this year. They play at one of the slowest paces in the league. I'm pretty sure they're actually dead last in pace if I'm not mistaken, but I might be wrong there. But like it's not a great spot for Curry. Obviously, Curry has massive upside and can go off any night. But on this slate, I think he's just more of a contrarian spend-up option, not a guy that I feel like I'm going to have in a ton of lineups. Wiggins at 6,200, I'm not a big fan of. On a 3-game slate, he's viable, but I just hate playing Andrew Wiggins. I feel like every time I play him, it never works. Honestly, I would much rather play Kelly Oubre, and I actually do like Kelly Oubre quite a bit on this slate. 5,700 on DK, pretty affordable. On Yahoo, he's very affordable at the small forward position, only $19 over there. So we saw Oubre have a really good game last time out against the Lakers on, I believe that was on Monday. And then on Wednesday when they're playing the Spurs, he's having a really good game on Wednesday as well. And we're seeing him get more time with the second unit. That was something they did in Monday's game against the Lakers. They did it again in Wednesday's game against the Spurs. I assume that Oubre will continue to run with the second unit, continue to get time with them, and that does boost his fantasy upside, his fantasy value overall. This is a guy that has always had upside for fantasy. It's just, this year he's really struggled to shoot. Like he's not been able to make shots, but he's been playing much better lately. He's been contributing with rebounds. He can get assists. Like he's a guy that can be very productive when he's on the floor. And now that he's getting to play with the second unit, that just makes me even more confident in Kelly Oubre. If he continues to play this well, we're going to see his price rise, up to 6,500, close to 7K. We're still getting a nice discount on Kelly Oubre. So honestly, from the Warriors, he's probably one of my favorite options at 5,700. I don't mind Draymond Green either. Draymond Green's one of those guys that can just do a little bit of everything. His ceiling, I wouldn't say his ceiling is very high. Like you're probably not going to get 40 plus from Draymond, but he can give you 30, 35 DK points and be a solid play at 5,500. I think for ceiling though, Oubre probably gives you a little bit of a higher ceiling, given he can just, he can go out there and be aggressive, can knock down a ton of shots, can, put up 40 plus DK points. Once you get past Draymond though, like Eric Pascal, I don't really play when Draymond and Wiseman are healthy, but Wiseman I do want to talk about. So I like him a ton here at only 4,500. Right now on Wednesday when they're playing the Spurs at halftime, he is having a pretty good game at halftime. We'll have to see how he finishes out that game. This is a back-to-back, so I guess that is maybe somewhat concerning, but so far this year, Wiseman has played on back-to-backs. This is a guy that just has so much upside. It's just a matter of, minutes. The minutes are what are holding him back so far this year. So, like in the game against the Pacers, he played 26 minutes. The game against Denver, he played 27 minutes. He had solid games in both of those. And then against the Lakers, he got in foul trouble. He was basically in foul trouble the entire game, only played 13 minutes. I think with the minutes trending up the way they were before the Lakers game, if he's not in foul trouble here, we probably get 26, 28 minutes from James Wiseman. And at 4,500, we don't have a ton of guys under 5K that are, great options. I think James Wiseman actually does look like a pretty good option under 5K. Right now, he looks like one of the better values on DraftKings. I do like him a ton at 4,500. Even though it's a back-to-back, I'm assuming that he's not really going to be limited here. Unless we hear otherwise, I'm assuming Wiseman is going to be full go. So I do like him a lot as a value on DK at 4,500. Hopefully, he can stay out of foul trouble and Steve Kerr gives him, close to 30 minutes. Because if he does, he'll be able to blow this price, out of the water. Because he is a really productive player when he is on the floor. But these other secondary pieces from the Warriors, these bench guys, I'm just not really going to go to on this slate. So that does it for that game. We'll go ahead and move on to the last one, the Pelicans and the Jazz. This game overall, I don't have a ton of interest in. Like on the Pelicans side, obviously Brandon Ingram, Zion, you can consider basically every slate. I think Zion is definitely my favorite between him and Ingram. Zion we know what we're getting from Zion. He's going to score probably 20 plus points. He can crash the boards. He can get you a good amount of rebounds. Zion hasn't showed massive upside this year. Like we've only had one big game from him, and that was on Christmas Day when he had like 50-something DK points. Like we haven't really gotten any more 50-point games from Zion. Obviously, he has that in him, but I don't know. Like on this slate, even at 7,700, Zion's just not a guy that I think I'm going to be building around. I think if I was going to play him, like it would be on Yahoo. He's affordable there. On Yahoo, he's $35. But again, like he's power forward, and you have Giannis at power forward. You have Julius Randle at power forward. Like I would just try and get up to those guys if I can. So I don't really love Zion on the slate. I would prefer him over Ingram, but neither one seems like a core play for me. Steven Adams, like, just doesn't have much upside. Lonzo, I think, is actually interesting. So Lonzo was someone I had a lot of interest in on Tuesday's slate. It was a 2-gamer. Then we got word that he was limited, so I didn't play him because he was limited. Only played 23 minutes, had 20 Draftkings points. I have no idea if he's going to be limited again. If he's not, if there's no limit on Lonzo Ball, I think at 5,500, he actually looks like a really solid option, and I think he will be pretty low owned on the slate. I do like him. He's one of my favorite guys from the Pelicans if there's no limitations on him. Now, obviously, if he's limited again, I probably won't be going there, but if Lonzo can play 30-plus minutes at 5,500 on a 3-game slate where we're looking for low-owned guys with upside, I think Lonzo does give that to us, so I do like him. I definitely would prefer him over Eric Bledsoe. But these bench guys from the Pelicans, like I'm just not really on. Now that Lonzo's healthy, I don't like NAW. Josh Hart just doesn't have a ton of upside. JJ Redick, he's a guy that can get hot off the bench, but if he's not knocking down shots, he's not going to play a ton of minutes. Really, there's nothing I love from the Pelicans outside of, Lonzo in tournaments for low ownership if he's not limited. Zion you can pay it for as well, but those are really the only two guys I really stand out to me from the Pelicans side. Now on the Jazz side, this is another team that, Donovan Mitchell, Rudy Gobert, like these are obviously guys who can basically play any slate. On a 3-gamer, they are definitely viable. Still, though, I think there's other guys I'd rather pay for. Like I want to try and get Giannis in. I like Julius Randle a lot. Obviously, if I'm playing those guys, I probably won't have the salary to pay it for Mitchell or Gobert. If I had to choose between one of Mitchell or Gobert, I think I'd probably prefer Mitchell, just given that center has so many good options I like for cheaper, like Brook Lopez, James Wiseman. If I'm playing those guys, obviously I won't have a ton of exposure to Gobert. Mitchell at 7,900. He had a solid game last time out against the Pelicans, but still, for his price, he wasn't great. Like, at this price tag, you want 45, 50 DK points from Mitchell. He was still in the winning lineup on the last slate just because it was a 2-gamer, and, he still had a solid game. Like, if he does give you 40-plus again, he could still make the winning lineup just because it's a 3-game slate and there's so few options at each position. Still, though, Mitchell doesn't feel like a core play for me. There's really nobody from Utah that stands out as a core option. I think my favorite is probably Jordan Clarkson, just because he continues to get good run off the bench, and he's a high-usage player. When he does come off the bench, he's going to be out there chucking up shots. He does have upside, and even with Joe Ingles back last game, you still got 29 minutes from Jordan Clarkson. It seems like most nights he's going to play 28 to 30 minutes. Even when Ingles is healthy, the minutes should still be there for Clarkson, and he's a guy that does have plenty of upside when he's on the floor. Like I said, he can score, he can grab some rebounds, he can get some assists. At 6,100, his price tag actually came down a little bit after he scored 36 DK points last game. I do like Jordan Clarkson quite a bit, and I think he is my favorite guy overall from the Jazz today when you factor in price tag. I think Clarkson's the guy I like most. You could obviously play Mike Conley as well. But Bojan, I don't mind either on a short slate like this. He's only 5K. Could definitely give you 25, 30 DK points and be a solid play at his price tag. But like Royce O'Neal, Joe Ingles, Favors, like I'm just not going to really be looking at these guys. So that kind of does it for Utah, and I think that does it for Thursday's 3-game slate. It's a short slate, but I believe we do have a big one on Friday. I think there's like 13 games or 12 games on Friday, so we'll have a big slate to break down on Friday. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, though. If you did, hit that like button before you get out of here. Hit the subscribe button as well. Be sure to click that notification bell so that way you do get notified every time I upload, and you also get notified every time I do go live. But yeah, best of luck on this slate, guys. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If I do go live on Thursday, if I go live in the afternoon, I hope you guys are able to tune in. I should be live probably around 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock Eastern time. So check out the stream if I am there. But best of luck. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.